Want to speak real Spanish from your very first lesson? Get instant access with your free lifetime account at LangAdvance.com.
Welcome, or as the Spanish say, bienvenidos. Welcome to El Método. I'm Peter, your profesor for the program, and for the authentic native touch, here's my daughter, Jessica. Before starting the method itself, there are a couple of guidelines for following the course I'd like to set out in this introduction. Firstly, it's vital to ensure that each lesson has been truly mastered before moving on to the next. The course is cumulative in nature. It's been carefully structured so that your success with each lesson, and ultimately the entire method, relies on mastery of all previous lessons. Equally, those of you who may already know some Spanish should resist the temptation to skip ahead at any point, even if the first lessons seem a little too elementary. At each stage, El Método lays down the crucial foundations for future progress with the language. So for full effect, it's vital to proceed patiently and methodically, as the name of the program implies. You'll be constantly asked to produce phrases in Spanish, which you will then check with the same phrases given by myself and Jessica. If you consider you've performed well, that's to say, with 90 to 100% accuracy, and ideally within the timed pauses we provide, then you're free to progress. If not, we do suggest repeating the lesson as many times as you need. In addition to this self-assessment, we strongly suggest following the lessons in the order set out here. This way, each lesson will be taken 3 times, and you'll advance by 1 lesson a day. These 3 lessons, as well as the short written exercise that comes after each, should take about an hour. Make it a daily habit to get your 3 lessons in, more if you wish, and you'll be sailing through the levels in no time. Bear in mind that each level shouldn't take more than a month to complete if you're working methodically and with the intensity which is really required at this stage. So make yourself comfortable, relax, and allow the method to do its work, and you can now look forward to an exciting sense of constant and rapid progress with the Spanish language. Hello everyone, welcome to the first lesson of El Método. Jessica and I wish you all the best for success on your journey into this splendid language. Very briefly, here's how the course works. We'll introduce a new word and you'll repeat it aloud. You'll be prompted to do so by the double speech bubbles. Now we ask you to formulate your own phrases, prompted by the ESP bubble. ESP for Español, Spanish. Think and then speak your Spanish phrase out loud, hitting pause if need be. Now I'll give the same phrase, which hopefully will be the same as yours. There's another space for you to repeat after me.
And finally, I'll give the phrase again. Please repeat after me, imitating my Spanish pronunciation, and also try to say the phrase as fast as I do. Best of luck.
A good place to start is the greeting hello, which in Spanish is hola. Please repeat that. Hola.
Hola.
You can hear that the initial H is silent.
Hola.
The next word is I. Yo.
Yo.
The Y is pronounced similarly to English, but with just a hint of J. Yo.
Yo.
Now to say I am, it's yo soy.
Yo soy.
However, it's more common to hear soy alone, since in Spanish the pronouns I, you, he, she, we, and they are not usually spoken. The verb forms alone identify the person, so I am, yo soy, or more commonly, soy.
Soy.
So how would you say in Spanish, hello, I'm Peter? Hola, soy Peter. or giving my name Spanish pronunciation.
Hola, soy Peter.
So now I'd like you to introduce yourself. Hello, I'm filling in with your own name. Hola, soy.
Hola, soy.
Let's have a quick look at the Spanish vowels. As in English, there are 5, but luckily for the learner of Spanish, each vowel only has one possible sound. Unlike English, where each vowel can be pronounced in various different ways, amounting to some 20 or so possible vowel sounds, it's far more straightforward in Spanish, with only 5 vowel sounds. Can you repeat after me? A, E, I, O, U. Be sure to pronounce only pure vowels, just as you hear them, avoiding any diphthongs, that's to say sounds like A instead of E, and O instead of O.
A, E, I, O, U.
It may help to think of the A as the A in the sound of laughter. Ha 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 ha. I hesitate to give an actual English word as pronunciation varies with the different English accents. A. The E is the same E as in the English egg, nice and short, E. The I is the short E of eat, E. The next one is O, as in the British English pronunciation of hot. Or perhaps again the sound of laughter, this time that of Santa Claus, Father Christmas, ho 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 ho, O. The U is the short U of flute, or perhaps the sound a monkey makes, U U U U U, U. So that's it. There's not a single example in the entire Spanish language of a vowel having 2 different sounds. If you pause and practice these 5 vowels, you're done. To say a, as in a dog, a car, we say un.
Un.
A coffee is un café.
Un café.
And we emphasize the e vowel on account of the accent, which indicates the stress, the strong syllable, un café, and not café. Un café. Please is por favor.
Por favor.
Each of the final R's is lightly flipped with the very tip of the tongue, just behind and above the front teeth. The very same tongue placement as an English D, but with the lightest and briefest of touches to produce the flipped Spanish R, por favor. Speakers of American English may like to think of the Spanish flipped R as the T sound in water or butter. Por favor.
Por favor.
So how would you say a coffee, please? Un café, por favor.
Un café, por favor.
In Spanish, all objects, things or concepts, what we call nouns, are considered to be either masculine or feminine. Café is masculine, so we use un café.
Un café.
But a Coca-Cola, for no particular reason, happens to be feminine. So we say una Coca-Cola.
Una Coca-Cola.
Really try to get those pure vowels as you practiced before. Una Coca-Cola.
Una Coca-Cola.
So then, how would you say, hello, a Coca-Cola, please? Hola, una Coca-Cola, por favor.
Hola, una Coca-Cola, por favor.
And how about, hello, a coffee, please? Hola, un café, por favor.
Hola, un café, por favor.
The word for and is y, just like the Spanish e vowel we practiced before. Y.
Y.
So now you can say a coffee and a Coca-Cola. Un café y una Coca-Cola.
Un café y una Coca-Cola.
And now say hello, a coffee and a Coca-Cola, please. Hola, un café y una Coca-Cola, por favor.
Hola, un café y una Coca-Cola, por favor.
The word for two, the number two, is dos. The Spanish D is actually softer than in English, and it's produced with the tongue flat against the gum ridge, against the top of the mouth, not the tip of the tongue as in English. Not do, 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 but a light do, do, with the tongue flat at the top of the mouth. Dos. Repeat, please. Dos.
Dos.
So now could you say two Coca-Colas? Dos Coca-Colas.
Dos Coca-Colas.
As you see, just as in English, an S is added to plural nouns. But please take care to always pronounce the plural Spanish S as S and not Z with the voice. As we do in English after vowels, we say Coca-Colas, Coca-Colas, and coffees. In Spanish, it's Coca-Colas, cafés. So how would you say two coffees? Dos cafés.
Dos cafés.
Two coffees and a Coca-Cola. Dos cafés y una Coca-Cola.
Dos cafés y una Coca-Cola.
A coffee and two Coca-Colas, please. Un café y dos Coca-Colas, por favor.
Un café y dos Coca-Colas, por favor.
This is probably one of the very first things we need to do in Spanish, to order things such as drinks. And we can also do so by saying, I want such and such. This could sound rather blunt in English to say, I want something. We'd usually say, can I have, or I'd like, but it works just fine in Spanish. So the way to say I want is yo quiero. Usually simply quiero.
Quiero.
quiero. So to order a coffee, we can say quiero un café, por favor.
Quiero un café, por favor.
Okay, how would you say I want a Coca-Cola, please? Quiero una Coca-Cola, por favor.
Quiero una Coca-Cola, por favor.
And how about, hello, I want, can I have 2 Coca-Colas and a coffee, please? Hola, quiero 2 Coca-Colas y un café, por favor.
Hola, quiero 2 Coca-Colas y un café, por favor.
So now, to really make these phrases stick, let's practice them rhythmically. Just join in with us when you get the hang of it, and then go back repeating the chant as often as you can to really make it sink in. Quiero una Coca-Cola, por favor. Quiero una Coca-Cola, por favor. Un café y una Coca-Cola, por favor. Quiero 2 Coca-Colas, por favor. Quiero 2 Coca-Colas, por favor. Un café y 2 Coca-Colas, por favor. Quiero una Coca-Cola, por favor. Quiero una Coca-Cola, por favor. 2 cafés y una Coca-Cola, por favor. Quiero una Coca-Cola, por favor. Quiero una Coca-Cola, por favor. Un café y una Coca-Cola, por favor. Quiero 2 Coca-Colas, por favor. Quiero 2 Coca-Colas, por favor. Un café y 2 Coca-Colas, por favor. Quiero una Coca-Cola, por favor. Quiero una Coca-Cola, por favor. 2 cafés y una Coca-Cola, por favor. Bienvenidos de nuevo. Welcome back to El Método Spanish course for beginners. Let's jump straight back in with our next important word. Thank you, which in Spanish is gracias.
Gracias.
The C of gracias is pronounced as an English TH, as in thanks, the same word. Gracias.
Gracias.
However, in most Latin American countries, this soft C is pronounced as an S, so you'll hear gracias in Latin American countries rather than gracias that you'll hear in most of mainland Spain. Gracias. To say thank you very much, it's muchas gracias. Literally, many thanks. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias.
So if we enter a bar or the like, the first thing we'd say is hello, which in Spanish is
Hola.
We'd then order something. For example, I want, or can I have, a coffee and 2 Coca-Colas, please. Quiero un café y 2 Coca-Colas, por favor.
Quiero un café y 2 Coca-Colas, por favor.
Then we'd say, thank you very much. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias.
To say possible in Spanish, it's very easy. Posible.
Posible.
The second syllable, the E, is accentuated. Posible. And the final E sound, as always in Spanish, is a pure vowel, not A. Don't say posible, but posible. Impossible, unsurprisingly, is imposible.
Imposible.
To say it is or it's, the Spanish only requires one word, es.
Es.
How then would we say it's possible? Es posible.
Es posible.
And how about it's impossible? Es imposible.
Es imposible.
Don't forget to stress the si, imposible. To say for me, it's para mí.
Para mí.
And to say for you, it's para ti.
Para ti.
As with the soft D for dos that we practiced in the last lesson, the Spanish T is also softer than in English and produced with a flat tongue against the gum ridge, against the top of the mouth. Para ti. Avoid saying para ti, but para ti. Can you practice that a few times? Para ti, para ti. So now try saying it's for me. Es para mí.
Es para mí.
And how about it's for you? Es para ti.
Es para ti.
How would we say it's possible for me? Es posible para mí.
Es posible para mí.
And how would we say it's impossible for you? Es imposible para ti.
Es imposible para ti.
Can you say a Coca-Cola for me? Una Coca-Cola para mí.
Una Coca-Cola para mí.
Now say a coffee for me and a Coca-Cola for you. Un café para mí y una Coca-Cola para ti.
Un café para mí y una Coca-Cola para ti.
The way to say it's not, or indeed it isn't, is simply no es. No es.
No es.
So then try saying it's not for you. No es para ti.
No es para ti.
And how about it's not for me, it's for you? No es para mí, es para ti.
No es para mí, es para ti.
So we've seen that the article a is either un or una. Un for masculine things, una for feminine things. In the same way, the word the changes according to the gender of the object or thing. El for a masculine thing and la for something feminine. El, la, both meaning the. El, la.
El, la.
How would you say the Coca-Cola, bearing in mind that Coca-Cola is feminine? La Coca-Cola.
La Coca-Cola.
And coffee, being masculine, how would you say the coffee? El café.
El café.
Unfortunately, we can't predict the gender of something, unless it's obvious, like a man, a woman, a boy, or a girl. What we can state, though, is that a word ending in an A, such as Coca-Cola, is more likely to be feminine. There are plenty of common exceptions to this rule, but if you do need to guess, then go with feminine, una or la, for a word ending in an A. The Coca-Cola is for me. La Coca-Cola es para mí.
La Coca-Cola es para mí.
The coffee is for you. El café es para ti.
El café es para ti.
The Coca-Cola's for me and the coffee's for you. La Coca-Cola es para mí y el café es para ti.
La Coca-Cola es para mí y el café es para ti.
The coffee's not for me, it's for you. El café no es para mí, es para ti.
El café no es para mí, es para ti.
It's not possible for me. No es posible para mí.
No es posible para mí.
It's impossible for you. Es imposible para ti.
Es imposible para ti.
Now it's time for our rhythmic chant. Join in when you get the hang of it and repeat as many times as you can. This wonderful practice will really help speed up your learning and place the language firmly in your long-term memory.
La Coca-Cola es para mí. La Coca-Cola es para mí. La Coca-Cola es para mí. Y el café es para ti. La Coca-Cola es para mí. La Coca-Cola es para mí. La Coca-Cola es para mí. Y el café es para ti. El café no es para mí. La Coca-Cola es para mí. El café no es para mí. Es para ti. El café no es para mí. La Coca-Cola es para mí. El café no es para mí. Es para ti. Es imposible para ti. Es imposible para mí. No es posible para ti. No es posible para mí. Es imposible para ti. Es imposible para mí. No es posible para ti. No es posible para mí.
Okay, welcome back. Now that you've got quite a few lessons under your belt, I'd like to offer a quick reminder of the guidelines we set out in the course introduction before you started the program. Firstly, it's really important to fully master the material from each lesson before moving on. Aim for 90 to 100% accuracy with all the questions. The course is cumulative in nature, so ultimately success with the program depends on success with each lesson and each language point. And a reminder not to skip lessons at any stage, and to repeat them as many times as necessary until you're responding confidently, rapidly, and accurately. A common complaint amongst students is that there sometimes isn't enough time to think out each phrase within the time given, especially now that some of the phrases are increasing in complexity. Do feel free to keep a finger on the pause button to give yourself plenty of time. If all goes well, your delivery will accelerate as each lesson is repeated. A computer in Spanish is un ordenador.
Un ordenador.
The word for a computer in most Latin American countries is una computadora.
Una computadora.
So how would we ask the question, do you have a computer? ¿Tienes un ordenador?
¿Tienes un ordenador? ¿Tienes una computadora?
Now, to say the possessive my, it's simply mi.
Mi.
So how would you say, I want my computer? Quiero mi ordenador.
Quiero mi ordenador.
And now try to say, I need my computer, but I don't have it. Necesito mi ordenador, pero no lo tengo.
Necesito mi ordenador, pero no lo tengo.
Now to say the possessive yo, it's tú.
Tú.
How would you say it? Do you have your computer? ¿Tienes tu ordenador?
¿Tienes tu ordenador?
And how would you ask, why do you want my computer? ¿Por qué quieres mi ordenador?
¿Por qué quieres mi ordenador?
Because your computer is very good, but my computer is very bad. Porque tu ordenador es muy bueno, pero mi ordenador es muy malo.
Porque tu ordenador es muy bueno, pero mi ordenador es muy malo.
The verb to see is ver. As usual, the V is pronounced as a very light B. Ver.
Ver.
Can you give the Spanish for I want to see your car? Quiero ver tu coche.
Quiero ver tu carro.
And now the negative question, don't you want to see my computer? ¿No quieres ver mi ordenador?
¿No quieres ver mi ordenador?
To say yes in Spanish, as you probably know, is sí.
Sí.
And no is no.
No.
So how would you say, no, I don't want to see it now? No, no quiero verlo ahora.
No, no quiero verlo ahora.
And now try, yes, I want to see it, please. Sí, quiero verlo, por favor.
Sí, quiero verlo, por favor.
And now try the question, do you want to do it? ¿Quieres hacerlo?
¿Quieres hacerlo?
Yes, I want to do it. Sí, quiero hacerlo.
Sí, quiero hacerlo.
And how would you ask, why do you want to see it? ¿Por qué quieres verlo?
¿Por qué quieres verlo?
I don't want to see it. Thank you. No quiero verlo. Gracias.
No quiero verlo, gracias.
Do you want a coffee? ¿Quieres un café?
¿Quieres un café?
Yes, please. Sí, por favor.
Sí, por favor.
And what about, do you want a beer? ¿Quieres una cerveza?
¿Quieres una cerveza?
No, thank you. No, gracias.
No, gracias.
No quieres verlo, ¿no? No quieres verlo, ¿no? No quieres verlo, no quieres verlo, no quieres verlo, ¿no? Quieres hacerlo, ¿no? Quieres hacerlo, ¿no? Quieres hacerlo, quieres hacerlo, quieres hacerlo, ¿no? Sabes hacerlo, ¿no? Sabes hacerlo, ¿no? Sabes hacerlo, sabes hacerlo, sabes hacerlo, ¿no? Lo tienes ahora, ¿no? Lo tienes ahora, ¿no? Lo tienes ahora, lo tienes ahora, lo tienes ahora, ¿no? No quieres verlo, ¿no? No quieres verlo, ¿no? No quieres verlo, no quieres verlo, no quieres verlo, ¿no? Quieres hacerlo, ¿no? Quieres hacerlo, ¿no? Quieres hacerlo, quieres hacerlo, quieres hacerlo, ¿no? Sabes hacerlo, ¿no? Sabes hacerlo, ¿no? Sabes hacerlo, sabes hacerlo, sabes hacerlo, ¿no? Lo tienes ahora, ¿no? Lo tienes ahora, ¿no? Lo tienes ahora, lo tienes ahora, lo tienes ahora, ¿no? The very useful form I can in Spanish is puedo, puedo.
Puedo.
You can is puedes.
Puedes.
So then, how would we say I can do it? Puedo hacerlo.
Puedo hacerlo.
And how would we say you can see it? Puedes verlo.
Puedes verlo.
And how about the question, can you see it? Bearing in mind that there's no change in Spanish for the interrogative. Can you see it? Puedes verlo.
¿Puedes verlo?
Good. So then, how would we ask, can you do it? Puedes hacerlo.
¿Puedes hacerlo?
And how would you ask someone, can you see my car? ¿Puedes ver mi coche?
¿Puedes ver mi coche?
You won't be surprised to learn that the negative of puedo, I can, is no puedo, I can't. No puedo.
No puedo.
So you can say, no, I can't see it. No, no puedo verlo.
No, no puedo verlo.
And now try to say, what can you see? ¿Qué puedes ver?
¿Qué puedes ver?
And how would you say, I can't do it? No puedo hacerlo.
No puedo hacerlo.
The word for difficult is very similar. Difícil, with the accent or the stress on the middle syllable, on the middle I. Difícil.
Difícil.
The letter C in Spanish, as you know, is softened by an E after it. It's also softened by the letter I, as we can see in the word difícil. However, in Latin American countries, the soft C is always pronounced as an S, so we get difícil instead of difícil in Spain. The way to say easy is fácil.
Fácil.
Or in Latin America, fácil. So try to say it's not very difficult. No es muy difícil.
No es muy difícil.
It's easy for you, but it's difficult for me. Es fácil para ti, pero es difícil para mí.
Es fácil para ti, pero es difícil para mí.
I can't do it because it's very difficult. No puedo hacerlo porque es muy difícil.
No puedo hacerlo porque es muy difícil.
And how would we say it's very difficult to know? Es muy difícil saber.
Es muy difícil saber.
And how about it's not very easy to do it like that? No es muy fácil hacerlo así.
No es muy fácil hacerlo así.
And how would you tell someone it's difficult, but it's not impossible? Es difícil, pero no es imposible.
Es difícil, pero no es imposible.
Big in Spanish is grande.
Grande.
And small or little is pequeño.
Pequeño.
The wavy line known as the virgulilla on top of the N turns the sound into a ñ, as in onion or España, ñ, pequeño. So can you say, my computer is very big? Mi ordenador es muy grande.
Mi ordenador es muy grande.
Your computer is very small. Tu ordenador es muy pequeño.
Tu ordenador es muy pequeño.
Describing words, what we call adjectives, in English go before the word they describe. For example, a large coffee. In Spanish, it's the other way round. They usually go after the noun. So a large coffee is un café grande. A coffee large. Un café grande.
Un café grande.
How then would you say a small coffee? Un café pequeño.
un café pequeño.
The word for or in Spanish, as in one thing or another, is simply o.
O.
So now you can ask, do you want a big coffee or a small coffee? ¿Quieres un café grande o un café pequeño?
¿Quieres un café grande o un café pequeño?
I want a large beer and a small coffee, please. Quiero una cerveza grande y un café pequeño, por favor. Quiero una cerveza grande y un café pequeño, por favor.
No es fácil, es muy difícil. No puedo, no puedo, no es difícil, es muy fácil. Tú puedes, no es fácil, es muy difícil. No puedo, no es difícil, es muy fácil. Tú puedes, es muy grande, quiero el pequeño. No lo tienes, no quiero ver el grande, quiero el pequeño. Puedo verlo, es muy grande, quiero el pequeño. No lo tienes, no quiero ver el grande, quiero el pequeño. Puedo verlo. No es fácil, es muy difícil. No puedo, no es difícil, es muy fácil. Tú puedes, no es fácil, es muy difícil. No puedo, no es difícil, es muy fácil. Tú puedes, es muy grande, quiero el pequeño. No lo tienes, no quiero ver el grande, quiero el pequeño. Puedo verlo, es muy grande, quiero el pequeño. No lo tienes, no quiero ver el grande, quiero el pequeño. Puedo verlo.
Welcome back to El Método, where we've reached class number 11, meaning we're at the halfway point of the first level. To say the big one, as opposed to the small one, the big one, we say el grande, or la grande if referring to something feminine. El grande, la grande.
El grande, la grande.
So how would we say, can I see the big one, please? ¿Puedo ver el grande, por favor?
¿Puedo ver el grande, por favor?
How would you ask, do you have the big one or the small one? ¿Tienes el grande o el pequeño?
¿Tienes el grande o el pequeño?
The big one is easy, but the small one is difficult. El grande es fácil, pero el pequeño es difícil.
El grande es fácil, pero el pequeño es difícil.
And how about you can't do it because it's very small? No puedes hacerlo porque es muy pequeño.
No puedes hacerlo porque es muy pequeño.
A telephone, or a phone in Spanish, is un teléfono.
Un teléfono.
Do you remember how to say the verb to know? Saber. To say you know, we change the ending and we get sabes.
Sabes.
Notice that the stress, the accent here, is on the first syllable. Sabes. How would we ask the question? Do you know? ¿Sabes?
¿Sabes?
And what about, do you know why? ¿Sabes por qué?
¿Sabes por qué?
Do you know why I don't have it? ¿Sabes por qué no lo tengo?
¿Sabes por qué no lo tengo?
To say I know, it's yo sé, or simply sé.
Sé.
To say I know that, as in I know that it's difficult, I know that it's here, it's sé que, the same word as what. That and what is the same word. Sé que. Try to say I know that I can do it. Sé que puedo hacerlo.
Sé que puedo hacerlo.
And try saying I know that it's not very big. Sé que no es muy grande.
Sé que no es muy grande.
I know that it's not very easy, but you can do it. Sé que no es muy fácil, pero puedes hacerlo.
Sé que no es muy fácil, pero puedes hacerlo.
The question where is it in Spanish is ¿dónde está?
¿Dónde está?
You may have expected it is or is it to be es, as we saw before, but in fact there are two ways in Spanish to say it is, es or está, and these forms come from two separate verbs, both meaning to be. The choice of one verb or the other is sometimes a little complicated, but for the time being, whenever we refer to physical location or situation, we're going to use está, and es will be used in all other contexts. So how did we say where is it? ¿Dónde está?
¿Dónde está?
And now ask, where is my telephone? ¿Dónde está mi teléfono?
¿Dónde está mi teléfono?
And now try, where is the car? ¿Dónde está el coche?
¿Dónde está el coche? ¿Dónde está el carro?
I know where it is. Sé dónde está.
Sé dónde está.
Do you know where it is? ¿Sabes dónde está?
¿Sabes dónde está?
In the next sentence, don't be influenced by the English. Don't separate the two words donde and está. Donde and está must stick together. I don't know where your phone is, but I know where your computer is. No sé dónde está tu teléfono, pero sé dónde está tu ordenador.
No sé dónde está tu teléfono, pero sé dónde está tu computadora.
Welcome back, bienvenidos de nuevo. Welcome to lesson 12 of El Método. So then, remembering not to separate donde from está, how do you think we would ask, do you know where the big one is? ¿Sabes dónde está el grande?
¿Sabes dónde está el grande?
To say you are, when we refer to a physical location, we say estás, you are, estás.
Estás.
What would the question where are you be? ¿Dónde estás?
¿Dónde estás?
And how do you think we would say, I know where you are? Sé dónde estás.
Sé dónde estás.
What about the question, can I know where you are now? ¿Puedo saber dónde estás ahora?
¿Puedo saber dónde estás ahora?
And try to say, where's my beer? ¿Dónde está mi cerveza?
¿Dónde está mi cerveza?
Where's your water? ¿Dónde está tu agua?
¿Dónde está tu agua?
Do you remember the verb in Spanish to see? Ver. So try to say, I can't see where you are. No puedo ver dónde estás.
No puedo ver dónde estás.
And how about, I can't see where it is? No puedo ver dónde está.
No puedo ver dónde está.
How would you ask the question, can you see where my telephone is? ¿Puedes ver dónde está mi teléfono?
¿Puedes ver dónde está mi teléfono?
And now, do you know where the big computer is? ¿Sabes dónde está el ordenador grande?
¿Sabes dónde está el ordenador grande?
A hotel in Spanish is un hotel.
Un hotel.
A house is una casa. Una casa.
Una casa.
How would we ask someone, where's your hotel? ¿Dónde está tu hotel?
¿Dónde está tu hotel?
And what about, where's your house? ¿Dónde está tu casa?
¿Dónde está tu casa?
The hotel is very small. El hotel es muy pequeño.
El hotel es muy pequeño.
Your house is very big. Tu casa es muy grande.
Tu casa es muy grande.
To say here, as in here or there, it's aquí,
Aquí.
and there is allí. The pronunciation of the double L in Spanish is very similar to a Y. Allí.
Allí.
And so how would we say it's here, bearing in mind that we're referring to something's physical location? It's here. Está aquí.
Está aquí.
It's not there. No está allí.
No está allí.
And how do we say it's very big here, bearing in mind that it's refers to a size, not to a physical location. It's very big here. Es muy grande aquí.
Es muy grande aquí.
And now try to say it's very small there. It's very small there. Es muy pequeño allí.
Es muy pequeño allí.
It's not possible here. No es posible aquí.
No es posible aquí.
It's bad here. Es malo aquí.
Es malo aquí.
It's very good there. Es muy bueno allí.
Es muy bueno allí.
How did we say you are when referring to one's physical location? Estás.
Estás.
And what about it is? Está.
Está.
To say I am, again referring to one's location, it's estoy.
Estoy.
So how would we say I'm here, but you are there? Yo estoy aquí, pero tú estás allí.
Yo estoy aquí, pero tú estás ahí. Yo estoy aquí, pero tú estás ahí.
How did we say I know? Sé.
Sé.
What about I don't know where I am? No sé dónde estoy.
No sé dónde estoy.
And now try the question, do you know where you are? ¿Sabes dónde estás?
¿Sabes dónde estás?
Your hotel is there. Tu hotel está allí.
Tu hotel está allí.
You know that I'm here for you. Sabes que estoy aquí para ti.
Sabes que estoy aquí para ti.
As well as being used when expressing physical location, one's situation, estoy, estás, and está can be used also for temporary states or situations. The word busy is ocupado.
Ocupado.
If you're a woman or a girl or referring to any female, it's ocupada.
Ocupada.
So bearing in mind that busy is a temporary state, how would we say I'm busy if you're a girl? Estoy ocupada.
Estoy ocupada.
And how would you tell a man, you are very busy? Estás muy ocupado.
Estás muy ocupado.
And how would you ask a girl, are you busy now? ¿Estás ocupada ahora?
¿Estás ocupada ahora?
And how would a man say, I'm sorry, but I'm very busy now? Lo siento, pero estoy muy ocupado ahora.
Lo siento, pero estoy muy ocupado ahora.
The word for today in Spanish is hoy. As you can hear, as usual, the H is silent. hoy.
Hoy.
How would we say, I'm not very busy today? No estoy muy ocupado hoy.
No estoy muy ocupada hoy.
The way to say tired is cansado o cansada.
Cansado. Cansada.
How would a female speaker say, I'm tired today? Estoy cansada hoy.
Estoy cansada hoy.
And how would a man say, I don't want to do it because I'm very tired? No quiero hacerlo porque estoy muy cansado.
No quiero hacerlo porque estoy muy cansado.
And how would you say, I need a coffee because I'm tired? Necesito un café porque estoy cansado.
Necesito un café porque estoy cansada.
I want to know why you can't do it for me today. Quiero saber por qué no puedes hacerlo para mí hoy.
Quiero saber por qué no puedes hacerlo para mí hoy.
And how would you say, I can't do it for you today because I'm tired? No puedo hacerlo para ti hoy porque estoy cansado.
No puedo hacerlo para ti hoy porque estoy cansada.
I don't know why you can't do it like that. No sé por qué no puedes hacerlo así.
No sé por qué no puedes hacerlo así.
I don't want to do it like that because it's very difficult. No quiero hacerlo así porque es muy difícil.
No quiero hacerlo así porque es muy difícil.
Now we're going to learn to say this and that. This is esto. That is eso. Esto, eso.
Esto, eso.
So now try to ask the question, what is this? What's this? ¿Qué es esto?
¿Qué es esto?
You may have been tempted to use está in this question, but remember here, we're not talking about a temporary state or a location. We're simply identifying something. So, ¿qué es esto? And how would we ask, what's that? ¿Qué es eso?
¿Qué es eso?
And how would we say, I want to see this? Quiero ver esto.
Quiero ver esto.
I want to do that. Quiero hacer eso.
Quiero hacer eso.
And now try saying, I can't do this today. No puedo hacer esto hoy.
No puedo hacer esto hoy.
How would we ask the question, is this a computer or a telephone? ¿Esto es un ordenador o un teléfono?
¿Esto es un ordenador o un teléfono?
We could also say, ¿es esto un ordenador o un teléfono? Repeat, please. ¿Es esto un ordenador o un teléfono? Is that a beer or a Coca-Cola? ¿Eso es una cerveza o una Coca-Cola?
¿Es eso una cerveza o una Coca-Cola?
How did we say I have? Tengo.
Tengo.
And what was you have? Tienes.
Tienes.
Now the way to say I have to, the obligation, I have to do something, I have to, is tengo que.
Tengo que.
So try to say I have to do it. Tengo que hacerlo.
Tengo que hacerlo.
Now the verb to leave or to go out, in Spanish it's the same verb, to leave and to go out, is salir.
Salir.
So how would we say I have to leave? Tengo que salir.
Tengo que salir.
And how about the question, do you have to leave now? Tienes que salir ahora.
¿Tienes que salir ahora?
A common word that most people already know in Spanish is tomorrow, mañana.
Mañana.
So how would you ask the question, why don't you want to leave tomorrow? ¿Por qué no quieres salir mañana?
¿Por qué no quieres salir mañana?
Tonight is esta noche, literally this night. Esta noche. Esta noche.
Esta noche.
Try to ask, do you want to leave tonight or tomorrow? ¿Quieres salir esta noche o mañana?
¿Quieres salir esta noche o mañana?
The question when is ¿cuándo?
¿Cuándo?
So ask the question, when do you have to leave? ¿Cuándo tienes que salir?
¿Cuándo tienes que salir?
And now ask, when do you want to see it? ¿Cuándo quieres verlo?
¿Cuándo quieres verlo?
Why do I have to do it tomorrow? ¿Por qué tengo que hacerlo mañana?
¿Por qué tengo que hacerlo mañana?
I want to do it tonight because I'm busy now. Quiero hacerlo esta noche porque estoy ocupado ahora.
Quiero hacerlo esta noche porque estoy ocupada ahora.
And now try the question, when do you have to do it? ¿Cuándo tienes que hacerlo?
¿Cuándo tienes que hacerlo?
I have to do it tonight. Tengo que hacerlo esta noche.
Tengo que hacerlo esta noche.
Welcome back, welcome to lesson 15 of El Método. As we've come quite a way, here's a reminder of all the important guidelines that we covered in the introduction to the course. In Spanish, to have dinner is just one word, cenar. Think of the single word in English, to dine, cenar.
Cenar.
Try to say, do you want to have dinner now? ¿Quieres cenar ahora?
¿Quieres cenar ahora?
Where do you want to have dinner? ¿Dónde quieres cenar?
¿Dónde quieres cenar?
Now, to have lunch, also just one word in Spanish, and to eat is the same word, comer.
Comer.
So how would you say, what do you want to eat? ¿Qué quieres comer?
¿Qué quieres comer?
And identically, how would you say, what do you want to have for lunch? ¿Qué quieres comer?
¿Qué quieres comer?
And now ask, what do you want to have for dinner? ¿Qué quieres cenar?
¿Qué quieres cenar?
And now ask, where do you want to have lunch tomorrow? ¿Dónde quieres comer mañana?
¿Dónde quieres comer mañana?
When do you want to have dinner? ¿Cuándo quieres cenar?
¿Cuándo quieres cenar?
Do you want to leave now or do you want to have lunch here? ¿Quieres salir ahora o quieres comer aquí?
¿Quieres salir ahora o quieres comer aquí?
I can't have dinner because I'm very busy. No puedo cenar porque estoy muy ocupado.
No puedo cenar porque estoy muy ocupada.
And now try to ask, are you busy? ¿Estás ocupado?
¿Estás ocupada?
Sure in Spanish is seguro or segura.
Seguro, segura.
So how would you ask the question, are you sure? ¿Estás seguro?
¿Estás segura?
Now to say sure that, the word that in Spanish is que.
¿Qué?
How would we ask, are you sure that it's possible? ¿Estás seguro que es posible?
¿Estás seguro que es posible?
And now try saying, I'm sure that it's good. Estoy seguro que es bueno.
Estoy segura que es bueno.
I'm sure that the big one is easy. Estoy seguro que el grande es fácil.
Estoy segura que el grande es fácil.
Are you sure that the hotel is here? ¿Estás seguro que el hotel está aquí?
¿Estás seguro que el hotel está aquí?
And how would we say, I'm sure that the house is not there? Estoy seguro que la casa no está allí.
Estoy segura que la casa no está ahí.
The way to say the full verb, the infinitive form, to have, is tener.
Tener.
How would you say, I want to have it? Quiero tenerlo.
Quiero tenerlo.
And try to say, I have to have it. Tengo que tenerlo.
Tengo que tenerlo.
And how did we say, I have? Tengo.
Tengo.
I don't have. No tengo.
No tengo.
And how did we say, you have? Tienes.
Tienes.
And what about the question, do you have? ¿Tienes?
¿Tienes?
And now say, you don't have. No tienes.
No tienes.
Do you remember how to say the full verb to do? Hacer.
Hacer.
To say I do, or indeed I am doing, these can both be expressed with the same form in Spanish. I do or I'm doing. Hago.
Hago.
So how would we say I do it today or I'm doing it today? Lo hago hoy.
Lo hago hoy.
And how about I'm not doing it because I'm tired? No lo hago porque estoy cansado.
No lo hago porque estoy cansada.
I don't do it here because it's very small. No lo hago aquí porque es muy pequeño.
No lo hago aquí porque es muy pequeño.
The way to say you do, or indeed you are doing, is haces.
Haces.
So now say you do it. Lo haces.
Lo haces.
What are you doing? ¿Qué haces?
¿Qué haces?
And how do you ask, when do you do it? ¿Cuándo lo haces?
¿Cuándo lo haces?
And now try, you don't do it. No lo haces.
No lo haces.
I don't do it because it's very difficult. No lo hago porque es muy difícil.
No lo hago porque es muy difícil.
A table in Spanish is una mesa.
Una mesa.
And to say on is en.
En.
So now say the computer is on the table. El ordenador está en la mesa.
El ordenador está en la mesa.
And now ask, is the telephone on the table? El teléfono está en la mesa.
¿El teléfono está en la mesa?
We could also say, está el teléfono en la mesa. A chair is una silla. Remember that the double L is pronounced very similarly to an English Y. Silla, una silla.
Una silla.
So now say, I need a chair. Necesito una silla.
Necesito una silla.
And now ask, do you know where my chair is? ¿Sabes dónde está mi silla?
¿Sabes dónde está mi silla?
preposition in Spanish is also en. Therefore, how would you say Carlos is in the house? Carlos está en la casa.
Carlos está en la casa.
And what about the computer is in the car? El ordenador, la computadora, está en el coche.
El ordenador está en el coche.
Now, do you remember how to say the verb to do? Hacer. How would we say, therefore, I want to do it here? Quiero hacerlo aquí.
Quiero hacerlo aquí.
And what was the verb to know? Saber. So then how would you say, I want to know? Quiero saber.
Quiero saber.
I know. Yo sé.
Sé.
I know where the chair is. Sé dónde está la silla.
Sé dónde está la silla.
And what about you know? Tú sabes.
Sabes.
Now try the question, do you know that I do it today? Or indeed, do you know that I'm doing it today? These would be the same in Spanish. ¿Sabes que lo hago hoy?
¿Sabes que lo hago hoy?
Do you know when you have to leave? ¿Sabes cuándo tienes que salir?
¿Sabes cuándo tienes que salir?
Now then, the way to say he in Spanish is él.
Él.
And the way to say she is ella.
Ella.
The Spanish double L is pronounced very similarly to an English Y with just a hint of J. Ella. The way to conjugate the third person singular for all verbs, that's to say the he or she form, is by simply removing the S from the second person you form. So in the case of saber, we have I know, yo sé, you know, tú sabes, he or she knows, él or ella sabe without the S. So to say she knows, it's ella sabe.
Sabe.
And similarly, the way to say he knows is él sabe.
Sabe.
How would we therefore say he knows why? He knows why. Él sabe por qué.
Sabe por qué.
So following the same pattern as the verb saber, this time with the verb hacer, what would the he and she form of hacer be? Él, ella, hace. Hace. So now try to say he does it. Él lo hace.
Lo hace.
How did we say the verb to eat? Comer.
Comer.
There are two types of verb in Spanish, regular verbs and irregular verbs. Regular verbs all follow the same pattern. Irregular verbs kind of do their own thing. Most of the verbs we've seen so far have been irregular. But this verb here, to eat, is perfectly regular and therefore easy to conjugate. Here we have the first three regular standard forms of the verb comer. Yo como, tú comes, él o ella come. So how did we say I eat? Como.
Como.
You eat. Comes.
Comes.
And the question, are you eating? Comes.
Comes.
Now try saying, she eats on a chair. Ella come en una silla.
Come en una silla.
And what was the Spanish verb to have dinner? Cenar.
Cenar.
Cenar is also a regular verb, as all its forms follow a standard regular pattern. Cenar is known as a regular AR verb, and comer is a regular ER verb. So here are the standard forms for all regular AR verbs. Yo ceno, tú cenas, él o ella cena. So these endings, o, as, a, never change for regular AR verbs. I want to have dinner there. Quiero cenar allí.
Quiero cenar allí.
The way to say you have dinner, as you'd expect, being a regular AR verb, is cenas.
Cenas.
So try to ask the question, when do you have dinner? ¿Cuándo cenas?
¿Cuándo cenas?
And what about he has dinner, or indeed he's having dinner? Cena.
Cena.
And how would we ask, where does he have dinner? ¿Dónde cena?
¿Dónde cena?
Now then, what was the verb in Spanish to leave in the infinitive form, to leave? Salir.
Salir.
So how would you say, can I leave now? ¿Puedo salir ahora?
¿Puedo salir ahora?
To say I leave, the word is salgo.
Salgo.
So how would we say I leave tomorrow? Salgo mañana.
Salgo mañana.
And how about I don't leave today, or indeed I'm not leaving today? No salgo hoy.
No salgo hoy.
To say you leave, it's sales. As always, the second person singular, the you form, ends in an S. Sales.
Sales.
So how would you ask, why are you leaving now? ¿Por qué sales ahora?
¿Por qué sales ahora?
To say she leaves, as usual, we remove the S from the second person singular, which gives us ella sale.
Sale.
So how would we say he leaves? Él sale.
Sale.
And what about she leaves tonight? Ella sale esta noche.
Sale esta noche.
How did we say the verb to have? Tener.
Tener.
I have a beer. Tengo una cerveza.
Tengo una cerveza.
And how would you ask, do you have a water? ¿Tienes un agua?
¿Tienes un agua?
Now try saying, he has a car. Tiene un coche.
Tiene un coche.
And how about, he doesn't have a computer? No tiene un ordenador.
No tiene un ordenador. No tiene una computadora.
The way to say to be, that's to say the infinitive form, the verb to be, when we're talking about physical location or temporary states, is estar. Make sure you emphasize the second syllable, the AR, the last syllable. Estar.
Estar.
How then would we say, I don't want to be here? No quiero estar aquí.
No quiero estar aquí.
I am busy. Estoy ocupado.
Estoy ocupada.
Are you busy? ¿Estás ocupada?
¿Estás ocupado?
She's very busy. Está muy ocupada.
Está muy ocupada.
And now ask, is he tired? ¿Está cansado?
¿Está cansado?
The verb to need in the infinitive form, to need, is necesitar.
Necesitar.
how then would we say I need? Necesito.
Necesito.
And try to say you need. Necesitas.
Necesitas.
And how about the third person? She or he needs to do it. Necesita hacerlo.
Necesita hacerlo.
Now then, do you remember how to say to see in Spanish? Ver.
Ver.
So how would we say, I want to see it today? Quiero verlo hoy.
Quiero verlo hoy.
You've probably noticed that the I form of the verb, the first person singular, usually, but not always, ends in an O. So bearing this in mind, how would we say I see? Yo veo.
Veo.
Addressing a woman, how would you say, I see that you're busy? Yo veo que estás ocupada.
Veo que estás ocupada.
I see that you want it. Veo que lo quieres.
Veo que lo quieres.
You see, as you may have guessed, is ves.
Ves.
Do you see? ¿Ves?
¿Ves?
And now ask, do you see that it's not possible? ¿Ves que no es posible?
¿Ves que no es posible?
She or he sees, following the usual pattern for the third person, is él o ella ve.
Ve.
She sees that it's impossible for me. Ella ve que es imposible para mí.
Ve que es imposible para mí.
I'm sure you remember how to say I can. Puedo.
Puedo.
So now say I can do it. Puedo hacerlo.
Puedo hacerlo.
He sees that I can't do it. Él ve que no puedo hacerlo.
Ve que no puedo hacerlo.
Can you see my car? ¿Puedes ver mi coche?
¿Puedes ver mi coche? ¿Puedes ver mi carro?
And how about she can leave? Ella puede salir.
Puede salir.
We've seen the verb want before, but not yet the infinitive form, to want, querer.
Querer.
How did we say, I want a Coca-Cola? Quiero una Coca-Cola.
Quiero una Coca-Cola.
And how about, do you want to have dinner now? ¿Quieres cenar ahora?
¿Quieres cenar ahora?
Does he want to know? ¿Quiere saber?
¿Quieres saber?
She can leave when she wants. Puede salir cuando quiere.
Puede salir cuando quiere.
As we've already mentioned, there are two ways in Spanish to express the English verb to be, estar and ser. The distinction between the two is sometimes tricky to grasp, though for the moment all we need to be aware of is that estar is used for temporary states and physical location, whereas the verb ser is used to identify things or people in a permanent manner. Do you remember from the very beginning of the course how to say, I am María? Yo soy María.
Soy María.
Now again, using the verb ser as a means to identify someone or something, the way to say you are is eres.
¿Eres?
So how would you ask, are you Jessica? ¿Eres Jessica?
¿Eres Jessica?
The way to say he or she is es.
Es.
So how would we say he is David? Es David.
Es David.
And now try asking, is she Carolina? ¿Es Carolina?
¿Es Carolina?
Okay, welcome back. It's the last class of the first level, the end of the beginning, and I congratulate you for coming this far with us. Many of those who started the course will have already fallen by the wayside. In fact, the vast majority won't have made it to this point. That's the nature of these language courses. So felicidades to you, and I do hope you'll take the decision to carry on with us until level 4 of this, the beginner's course, and beyond with the intermediate levels, at which point you will have achieved a full understanding and a practical usage of basic Spanish. So let's crack on with Unit 20. The nationality or the language Spanish is español or española for a female.
Español. Española.
British is británico or británica.
Británico. Británica.
And American is americano or americana.
Americano. Americana.
So how would we say, I am British? Soy británico.
Soy británica.
And the question, are you Spanish? ¿Eres española?
¿Eres español?
And now try saying, he is American. Él es americano.
Es americano.
What about the question, is she Spanish? ¿Es española?
¿Es española?
And how would we ask, is David American? David es americano.
¿David es americano?
Is Carolina Spanish? Carolina es española.
¿Carolina es española?
Earlier in the course we learnt the word for me in the expression para mí. For me, para mí. Now when me is used together with a verb as the object of the verb, for example, see me, tell me, help me, then instead of me, then the word is me. Same spelling as in the English me, but different pronunciation. Me.
Me.
How would you say, can you see me? ¿Puedes verme?
¿Puedes verme?
To say you when combined with a verb, then the word is te.
Te.
So try to say I can see you. Puedo verte.
Puedo verte.
Now to say or to tell in Spanish is decir.
Decir.
How would we say I want to say it? Quiero decirlo.
Quiero decirlo.
And how would we say I want to tell you? Quiero decirte.
Quiero decirte.
She wants to tell me. Ella quiere decirme.
Quiere decirme.
And how would you ask, can you tell me? Puedes decirme.
¿Puedes decirme?
And the question, why can't you tell me now? ¿Por qué no puedes decirme ahora?
¿Por qué no puedes decirme ahora?